Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sharaq list. Hi, I'm Miriam. I'm the Afghan that cooks. And today on Afghan Cooks, we will be making mantu in my office. Really weird, right? How do you make mantu in your office? Well, you don't. Actually, what happened was we filmed the whole episode, including the intro, and it turned out that we actually didn't hit record on it. Instead, I am here in my office telling you that today we are making mantu, which is an Afghan meat stuffed dumpling. It is steamed, it is delicious. It is the food of weddings and celebrations and births and joyful occasions. Let's make it. Now, this is a recipe where you need a particular piece of equipment, okay? And what you need is a steamer basket because these are steamed dumplings. So here's one kind of steamer basket. It just sits inside of a pan. Let me get a pan. You put a little bit of water in the bottom, and then the steamer basket can just sit because it's up a little, so you just need the smallest amount of water. And so a steamer basket like this can sit in all kinds of different shaped pans. I have a pan that's this size. These are steamer pots, and they are industrial size. They're very, very large. You can fit a lot of dumplings on these. You add the water to the bottom. You need a steamer or something to steam this stuff in. Okay. There are a few ways that you can make mantu, okay? Mantu is a steamed dumpling. Mantu is traditionally made with meat. If you look online, there are a lot of different sorts of recipes. Some of them call for cooking the meat in advance, and then when you steam the dumpling, the meat is already cooked, so you don't have to worry about it. So you only steam it for like 5 or 6 minutes just so that the outside is cooked. The very traditional way is to leave the meat raw and have it cook inside when you steam it. That takes about 30 or 35 minutes to steam it, and that's what we're gonna do today, okay? And it is super easy this way because you don't have to cook anything, right? Everything has to go in the steamer anyway, so it's more like hands off. And here we have 1 pound of lamb. A big part of this is onion, okay? So we have 2 cups of onion here. Every bite of your mantu is going to have a lot more onion than it even has meat. Remember, Afghanistan is not a very rich country, right? The people are not wealthy. Meats, people have this idea of Afghan food and they think, oh, you guys must eat a lot of meat. It must be very hard to be vegetarian, etc., etc. And that's not true for a number of reasons. We do have a lot of meat dishes, but every time you have a meat dish, it will be surrounded by vegetables because vegetables we grow, it's cheaper, it's easier. You can have your own bar, your own garden, and grow the things that you need to eat, right? So we have 2 cups of finely minced onions here. I did these in the food processor. And we're gonna add, so it's a lot of onion, okay? Here I have just a little bit of chili pepper. It's 1 green chili. It's very spicy. We're gonna add that. I have 2 teaspoons of salt. I have a tablespoon of coriander and a tablespoon of cardamom and a teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're gonna stir this together, okay? In here you can see that it's all incorporated. We're gonna put this aside and we're gonna go on and make our tomato sauce, okay? We're gonna make our tomato sauce now so that it can sit for a little while. The flavors can mix together and meld together while we're putting everything else together. Let me get cleaned up and I'll be right back. All right, so in my bowl here, I have 3 cups of just plain all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of just plain oil. I find that this just helps make the dough a little bit softer. And then we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt. I didn't use my little spoon here so that I could measure it for you guys exactly. And now I'm going to start this on low speed and add the water. ما بخير ترويني تشان بعد توايا شو ببايد كراري ورواچه که باید ورته وګوره چې دا زما وړه څنګه دا ټولیږي څنګه کیږي. So what I'm saying is, I've told you this on a number of occasions, you have to watch your dough, okay? If it's very humid outside or dry, you know, what kind of what kind of flour you use. Is it a very nice, expensive flour? It is a very cheap Aldi flour, like the kind that I use. It may take more or less. The point is practice. Practice. Bewaka, bewaka, bewaka. Every time you practice, you will get a little bit better at knowing what exactly it is that you're looking for, okay? Also, you can do this by hand, right? You can stir it by hand and then take it out to knead it. And I'm gonna stop when we get to the kneading part so you can see what we're looking for, okay? So we're gonna start it. And then we're gonna add the water. Here I have about 1.5 cups of water. So we're gonna see, we probably will use about 1.25 cup of water. You wanna let that water incorporate, okay? You don't wanna add it all at once because it might be too much. We're going to turn this up just a little bit. You can see, right? The more water I add, how it changes the dough. That was just maybe another teaspoon of water. Let me put that back in the bottom there. That's exactly right. So that was 1.25 cup of water. Just what I told you. We're gonna let this go for about 3 or 4 minutes. If you're kneading it by hand, set your timer, okay? You wanna do it for about 6 or 7 minutes. When you make wontons, dumplings, bologna, ashak, you want the dough to be able to be rolled out very thin without cracking or breaking, okay? Think about the strength, right? So as you knead the dough, your arms and your hands are getting stronger, but the dough, the binds in the dough, the gluten is getting stronger too. So just like you work out in the gym, you're giving the dough a workout too to make it stronger. So when you stretch it, it's going to be a beautiful, soft, pliable dough that's easy to work with and will hold the filling very well too. Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes. I'm gonna finish this up by hand. I'm gonna knead it a little bit just to make sure that it's exactly the way I want it. You can see already what a beautiful dough this is. It's so soft. And that's it. There's our dough. You can see how soft it is, how pliable it is. It's gonna be able to stretch. We're gonna be able to roll it out very thinly. Now, what we have to do is we just have to let it rest. It's worked very hard. It needs a little rest, so it's much easier to... Alexa, stop. All right, we're gonna let this rest inside this thing because I cannot get this off of here. You're gonna set it aside. You're gonna let it rest for at least 15 minutes, okay, before you use it for whatever the recipe is that you're making, whether it's mantu, ashak, bologna, parathas, whatever you're making, okay? Let it rest and then go on with your recipe. Okay, so here we have a small saucepan. We'll turn the heat on, and I have a tablespoon of oil here. Just again, any oil you want. The ingredients for this, while we're waiting for the oil to heat up a little bit, is I have about 4 tablespoons, about 1/4 cup of very finely minced onion. Again, chopped, diced, it doesn't really matter. Some onion. I have 1 can of tomato sauce. It's a can, 8-ounce can. Salt, pepper. I have some white vinegar and some garlic powder. You can use fresh again, okay? Cook this. This sauce is not very heavily spiced, okay? It doesn't have a lot of different herbs and seasonings because it's just to kind of go on top of the mantu to give a little bit of an added flavor, a little bit of a sour, tomatoey, sweet, sour taste to the top of the mantu. You can see it's just starting to change color, getting a little bit brown, a little bit toasted, a little bit caramelized. And now we're gonna add our tomato sauce. Woo! Ah, hot, don't burn yourself. I'm going to add just 1 teaspoon of garlic powder to this. This is from Burlap and Barrel. This is our delicious purple striped garlic. Ooh, can never go back to anything else. We're gonna add just some crushed black pepper here, about a half a teaspoon of salt. And now I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of just this white vinegar, okay? And we're just gonna put this aside so the flavors have a chance to sit there with each other, okay? Okay, now we're gonna put everything together. I have a pot of water that I put on to boil just to make everything go a little faster while you're putting this together. That way when you put it in the bottom of your steamer, you're all set. Now, Gran Dostan Kariban Shirikan. You don't have to make your own dough. I just wanna make it very clear, you do not have to. You can buy dough. You can buy wonton wrappers. You can buy, these are wonton skins. This is a completely 100% acceptable thing to do. And I tell you this because I don't want you to be intimidated and say, well, I can't make the dough. I don't like to make dough. I'm not good at it, so therefore I'm not gonna make this. Now what I have here is a rolling pin, a platter, my dough, and my filling. I'm gonna get a little bowl. I'm gonna put some water in it so that my fingers will not get stuck to anything. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work in batches. We're not gonna do this whole thing all at once, okay? We're gonna do it. I'm gonna put this into 4 pieces. These are gonna go over here. Now, what you wanna do is flour your work surface. Make sure you have on a black shirt so you have the nice contrast between your black shirt and the white flour that's gonna get all over you. I don't know if I mentioned this, the difference between mantu ashak is also that of the dough. In ashak, we use the circular dough and we just cut it into half moons. Mantu, you use square wrapper. Oh! You know what I can use? My pasta attachment for my, oh, heck yeah. Let's see how this works. Now we're gonna have it all the way open. There we go. All right, let's do this. Take your scoop, put your filling in the middle, take the 2 ends, bring them up, take this, bring it up, take this corner and bring it up too. So now you have a little bit of a purse. We have our first tray of dumplings ready to go. We're gonna put them onto the boiling water and let them go and steam. If you like this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. What we'd really love for you to do is help us grow this community, grow this channel, and subscribe. If you want to hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time we upload a video, which is at least once a week. Leave a comment. Let me know that you like a video. If you've made a recipe, we'd love that. Also, check out our website, afghancooks.com. We have special Afghan Cooks Club. If you sign up, you get a newsletter with some behind the scenes, some fun stuff, some stuff about Afghan culture and food, and the recipes are sent directly to your email inbox. Until next time.